The Algorithm Knows by Alex Kudria. Chapter 1. The Perfect Morning. The notification woke her at 6:17 a.m. Motion detected, basement. 3:47 a.m. Elena Chen grabbed her phone. Screen glare harsh against bedroom darkness. Marcus's side of the bed, cold. Sheets pulled tight as if he'd never been there. At her feet, Mango lifted his head, tail thumping once against the comforter. 3 more alerts stacked beneath the first. Basement motion at 4:12. Again at 5:03. Again at 5:41. The alerts had been coming for weeks now. Always in the dead hours, when she should have been sleeping, when Marcus should have been sleeping beside her. Her thumb hovered. She could open the Ring app, review the footage, see what her husband was doing in the basement at 3:47 a.m. while she slept alone, dreaming of children that wouldn't come. Instead, swipe left. Delete, 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 delete. The notifications vanished as if they'd never existed. That makes sense, she whispered to the dark room. Marcus was stressed about the job search. Marcus needed space. Marcus deserved privacy. Mango whined softly, pressing his nose against her palm. It's okay, boy. Everything's fine. The dog knew she was lying. Dogs always knew. Cold tile beneath her feet. The bathroom mirror showed dark circles that hadn't been there 6 months ago. Elena brushed her teeth, 30 seconds each quadrant, the way her father had taught her, and studied the woman looking back. A new crease between her brows that deepened when she frowned, the particular shade of exhaustion that came from sleeping beside a stranger. She counted the floor tiles between toilet and shower. 14. She counted again. 14. She spat, rinsed, checked her gums for blood. The stress was getting to her gums, to everything. 14 tiles. The number didn't mean anything. The basement door, locked. Lena paused in the hallway, morning light striping the walls through blinds. The deadbolt was new, installed 3 weeks ago while she sat at Drive, Ramirez's office, discussing why her body kept rejecting pregnancy. Marcus had called it security, protection, just in case. She pressed her palm flat against the wood. Something hummed on the other side, low, steady. The vibration traveled through her fingertips. Her teeth, the hollow space behind her sternum, servers cooling, hard drives spinning. Whatever he was building down there in the dark, blue light flickered through the gap at the bottom of the door. Cold blue. Multiple screens, shifting and dancing. 8 months ago, Marcus had worked in a cubicle at Horizon Labs, fluorescent lights, open floor plans, colleagues who chewed too loudly. Now he had an entire basement to himself, and he emerged smelling like ozone. Eyes glowing from too much screen time. The hum continued behind the door. Patient, constant, like a heartbeat. 42 grams of oats. Elena placed them on the digital scale, adjusted until the display read exactly 42.0. 85 grams of Greek yogurt. She scraped the container clean. 14 grams of chia seeds, the tiny black spheres scattering like insect eggs. 120 milliliters of almond milk, measured in a glass beaker she'd bought specifically for this purpose. NPR murmured from the windowsill speaker. Interest rates rising. A hurricane forming somewhere warm. Normal sounds for a normal morning in a normal house where nothing was wrong. She stirred the oats with a wooden spoon, worn smooth from years of use. Set the timer. 4:59. 4:58. 4:57. The numbers were the only thing she could control. Outside the kitchen window, the October sun was already warm, promising another unseasonably hot day. The kind of weather that made people forget it was nearly Halloween. The kind of weather that felt like a lie. Marcus's laptop sat open on the kitchen island. MacBook Pro. Lid up, screen dark, but not asleep. A cursor blinked in a minimized window at the bottom, and she could just make out the header. Maya. The name stopped her cold. She'd seen it before. In notification panels, Marcus quickly swiped away. In email subject lines, he angled from her view, in the way his fingers moved across keyboards when he thought she wasn't paying attention. Maya. She'd assumed it was a project name. A client. A collaboration with someone from his old team at Horizon. Now the name sat on his screen like an accusation. The cursor blinked. Patient. Waiting. The Oates timer read 3:47. Same numbers as the basement motion alert. The same timestamp, watching her from across the kitchen like a dare. Her fingers brushed the trackpad's edge. Morning. Beautiful. Elena spun. Marcus stood in the kitchen doorway, freshly showered, dark hair, still damp. He crossed the room in 3 long strides, pressing a kiss to her cheek before she could fully react. He smelled like soap and ozone and the burnt metal tang of overworked electronics. His laptop was already closed, tucked under his arm like a shield. Sleep well? He asked. That makes sense, she said, which wasn't an answer. What makes sense? Sorry? I meant yes. Brain's not awake. She busied herself with the oats, stirring them with unnecessary vigor. What time is your interview? 10:30. Downtown. He leaned against the counter, watching her with that particular intensity he'd developed since the layoff, the look of a man cataloging everything, storing it away for later analysis. I should be home by 2. Maybe we can do something tonight? Dinner out? Maybe. Celebrate. Celebrate what? The interview going well. Me getting back on my feet. His smile was warm, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. Us. Us. The word felt heavier than it should. That sounds nice. Good. He finished his coffee in one long swallow. I'm going to shower. Wish me luck? Good luck. He crossed the kitchen, paused at the doorway. I love you. You know, no matter what happens today. I love you. The words should have been comforting. Instead, they felt like a warning. I love you too. He disappeared down the hallway. A moment later, the shower started running. Elena stood alone in the kitchen, watching steam rise from her untouched oats, and tried to remember the last time those words had felt true. The mudroom smelled like dog and damp earth and lavender dryer sheets. Mango materialized at her side, 70 pounds of wagging enthusiasm and unconditional love. The only being in this house who didn't seem to want anything from her except companionship. Ready for your walk, Daddy? He shoved his head against her thigh hard enough to make her stumble. She laughed, first real sound all morning, and bent to clip the leash. Her fingers brushed something that shouldn't have been there. A small, black box, no bigger than a matchbook, zip-tied to the collar's D-ring. Smooth plastic, warm from the dog's body heat. A tiny LED blinking green every few seconds. GPS tracker. She turned it over in her palm, feeling its weight, its purpose. When had Marcus put this here? Yesterday, while she'd been at the clinic? Last week? during one of his mysterious late-night sessions in the basement? How long had her morning walks been tracked, cataloged, uploaded to whatever system hummed beneath their bedroom? Mango's tail wagged, oblivious. He just wanted to go outside. He didn't know he was carrying a beacon. Elena? Marcus's voice from upstairs made her straighten quickly, fingers releasing the tracker. Just getting Mango ready. She called back, keeping her voice light. Don't forget, Roger wanted to show you the new security setup. He said he'll catch you on your walk. She hadn't forgotten. Roger Whitfield, HOA President, self-appointed guardian of Maple Grove's collective security. The man who'd installed more cameras on their street than the average convenience store. Great. I'll look for him. The GPS tracker blinked green in her peripheral vision. She didn't remove it. Some part of her understood that the moment she removed it, everything would change. The moment she acknowledged what it meant, she'd have to decide what to do about it. And she wasn't ready for that decision. Not yet. Not until she understood what she was dealing with. 14 ring doorbells on their street. Elena walked Mango past the Hendersons, colonial with its perfect hedges, past the empty lot where the Morgans' house had been before the divorce, past the little free library nobody used anymore. 14 cameras. 14 little circles of black glass. Watching, recording, uploading to servers that never forgot. When they'd moved to Maple Grove 3 years ago, there had been maybe 4. Now they multiplied like mushrooms after rain, each one a promise of safety that felt more like surveillance. A jogger passed, earbuds in, eyes forward. A mother pushed a stroller toward the park, her phone out, documenting every step her toddler took. Normal people, living normal lives, all of them watched by cameras they'd chosen to install. Roger Whitfield emerged from behind his azaleas as if summoned by the thought. He was photographing her mailbox, 63 years old, retired from the police department's IT division, khaki shorts and polo pressed to military precision. White sneakers gleaming against the dark asphalt of Maple Street. Elena! He crossed toward her, lowering his phone with the practiced casualness of someone who'd been caught and didn't particularly care. Perfect timing. I wanted to show you what your husband and I set up yesterday. While she'd been at the fertility clinic, feet in stirrups, counting ceiling tiles and trying not to cry during another failed procedure. Set up? Roger's face lit up like a child's at Christmas. He raised his phone, turning the screen toward her, and Elena saw the Ring app glowing with a map of their neighborhood. 14 red dots clustered on her street, each one representing a camera, each one connected to a central hub. Shared access. The words wrapped in enthusiasm that made her teeth ache. Whole neighborhoods connected now. 43 cameras total, all feeding into a consolidated dashboard. If anyone comes within 50 feet of your property, we know about it. We know. Elena looked at the map, at the dots on her street, at the dozens more spreading through Maple Grove like a digital infection, creeping into every cul-de-sac and quiet corner. Your husband's been instrumental. Roger scrolled through footage she hadn't asked to see. A delivery driver placing a package on the Hendersons' porch. A teenager walking past on a phone call. A woman who looked like Elena walking Mango yesterday morning, face clearly visible from 3 different angles. He has administrator access now. Full clearance. Can pull any feed from any house